Hello, welcome to the video. Today we are going to talk about a very important topic in sociology, that is authority as given by Max Weber. But first, in order to understand authority, we'll have to understand power. This definition of power was given by Weber himself and is highly important. So Weber says that power is the chance of a man or a number of men to realize their own will in a communal action, even against the resistance of those who are participating in the communal action. So think about it like this, that there is some communal task happening and all these people are involved in that communal task. But there is this one individual who's in the center and he is dictating all these people what they need to do. Now they might resist, they might say that we don't want to do it, they might say that we don't want to do it in this particular way, but it does not matter. Whatever is being told to them by this person in the center, they will have to do it. So this person in the center is nothing but power. He is representing power. Now I hope you have understood what is power. Now we'll move to authority. Authority is defined as legitimate power accepted as rightful by those subject to it. So in this case, I told you that these people might resist. They might say that we don't want to do it or we don't want to do it like this. But when these people feel that it is right, what is being told to them is right and they need to follow him or this individual in the center, then this power becomes legitimate. And when the power becomes legitimate, it is known as authority. So when does power become authority? Power becomes authority when the people on whom this power is being used, they think that it is right and they believe that it is not unfair. Okay, so now we have understood power, we have understood authority. So Weber says that people do not follow or obey because they are afraid of something or because they are fearful of something. No, he says that they obey because they believe it is the right thing to do. Okay. Now we will move on to understand three ideal types of authority. The first one is traditional authority, the second one is charismatic authority, and the third one is legal rational authority. Beginning with the traditional authority, based on customs and beliefs rooted in sacred customs. So traditional authority is basically rooted in customs, it is rooted in traditions, and people obey it because it has always been like this, because it has always been followed for years and years. For example, Indian joint family. If you think about Indian joint family, here the eldest male or the female, they are respected and they are followed. Whatever they tell you, you follow it. Not because out of fear and not because there is some particular rule. No, you follow it because that's been a tradition. That is what is being done for so many years. So this is what is traditional authority. Very common examples of traditional authority are kinship, patriarchy, and many more. Okay, so the strength of this type of authority is that it is very stable. And why is it stable? Because it has been followed as is since so many years. But the criticism comes along, and the criticism is that it is too rigid. It resists change. And when it resists change, obviously it holds the society back. It holds back the society from getting progressive. So this is one of the criticisms of traditional authority. Now we move on to the second type of authority, that is charismatic authority, based on extraordinary personal qualities, devotion to leaders' vision. So basically this type of authority, it rests on the personal charm or some extraordinary qualities of a leader. And people follow this leader because they are inspired by him. I think a very common example, and we all will be able to relate to it, is our own freedom struggle, which was led by Mahatma Gandhi. So Mahatma Gandhi was one such leader who was charismatic in ways nobody could match ever. And this individual, because of his charisma, he led a freedom struggle and finally led to independence of country India. Okay. Now, the strength of this charismatic authority is that it can bring sudden and dramatic change, as we have discussed in the example. But the criticism is that it is highly unstable. Now you will ask me, why is it unstable? It is unstable because it rests on an individual. And when this individual goes away or his influence goes away, the movement often collapses. Okay, it loses its importance. So it is basically resting and depending on an individual. Now we move on to the third authority, that is legal rational authority. Based on rules, laws, bureaucracy, impersonal rules and procedures. So here, legitimacy, it comes from rules, it comes from laws, it comes from procedures. People obey not the person but the position or office. In this particular type of authority, you are not obeying an individual. You are obeying the position he holds, you are obeying the law that he's following. For example, if you are moving in a traffic and somebody randomly comes to you and tells you to stop, you would not stop and you would question him that why are you trying to stop me? But if a person in uniform comes and tells you to stop, you would obviously listen. Okay, so that is what. Who are you listening to? You're not listening to the individual, but you are listening to the uniform. You are listening to the authority he holds because of the law. So that is what is legal rational authority. Now the strength of this legal rational authority is that it is most efficient and most stable. It is also the foundation of many modern bureaucratic societies. Obviously, every modern bureaucratic society is based on legal rational authority. But there is a criticism to it, and the criticism is what we have already discussed in the previous video, which is iron cage. Weber believes that legal rational authority is in a way restrictive. It suffocates the individual since it is bound by so many rules and regulations. Okay, so with this we have discussed the three ideal types of authority: traditional authority, charismatic authority, and legal rational authority. So quickly we will discuss that traditional authority, it gives you stability, but it can obviously block progress. Charismatic authority, it inspires change, but is very fragile. And why is it fragile? Because it depends on an individual. Legal rational authority builds modern systems, but it can feel too mechanical. That is iron cage. So this is all about authority. Now, before I end this topic, I also want to tell you that this concept of authority was also criticized by some sociologists who believed that authority does not lie in an individual or in an institution. They said that authority is dispersed. An individual in some instance might be holding authority and might be ordering people, but in the second instance, he might be the one who is getting controlled, who is following the instruction of someone else. So this was one of the major criticisms of this concept of authority, which was given by Max Weber. So with this, we end our video, and I hope you found this video useful, and if yes, then please share it with someone who loves sociology. And thank you for spending your time here with me. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.